Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Strength of Thousands Adventure Path here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. Before we get started tonight, a few announcements. Number one, the most important of announcements. We have friends doing things. Gas.
Doing things.
Specifically, Rose's partner, Billy. You know, Rose from the Friday night stream, Astral Calling, half of the Luna Evie relationship. They're doing a one person musical in LA Fringe. There's a link
Hollywood
to
Fringe.
Hollywood Fringe. There's a link to the track for the project. Go donate. Donate now. Donate often. Donate as much as you can or would like to. I would recommend somewhere around the $40 range for Canadians, so you can get a digital film of it, because God knows if we paid enough for the ticket one, it would kind of be a waste, because then we'd also have to fly to LA to make use of said ticket.
I mean, hey, I think there's the one of the more expensive options that gets you a flight out here.
Yeah, it's the $6,000 one.
Yeah, if you just completely fund the show, we'll fly you out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very fair. I kind of wanted you, Will, when you were saying vote now or donate now, donate often. I wanted you to go full Night Vale with it. Donate in the woods in a bloodstone circle, whispering secrets only to yourself and the darkness.
I have not been able to listen to Night Vale for a hot
Love
minute,
Night Vale.
and it makes me sad. But things that don't make me sad. Number two, weird news. Well, not weird news, cool news. Matt and I guested on a podcast on the weekend.
Hey, nice.
We were vampires.
Nice.
Matt was amazing. I was insufferable. So pretty on par for us. Matt.
One of those was a choice.
One of those was a choice. With Squishy as well, with Squishy Werewolf on that podcast. It was us, our friend Cody, and then the Blood and Maple Syrup. Is that still the name?
It's Blood and Syrup.
Blood and Syrup.
Our particular episode won't be on, I think, till the end of March or something.
Yeah, so once that's out, we'll signal boost it here. But if you want to hear Matthew playing a vampire junkie and myself playing a vampire bard, come and check it out.
I like to think of myself as a vampire free thinker.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur.
Yeah. But come and check that out. Once that's released, I'll probably link to it here, because the people that we did it with, yeah, like the Dum Dums and Dice folks, they seem really nice, and we might have some of them coming to guest on a show or two here. So that could be fun. They were really solid people, so it would be a good time.
The future is full of possibilities.
The future is full of possibilities. Speaking of the future, hello future people watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on the YouTube comments or in the Twitch chat, tell us what your favorite vampire is in fiction. Who's your favorite fictional vampire? Let us know. Or real vampire, depending on how you view the sort of world, but who knows. Then, of course, on Tuesday, that's tomorrow night, we have Will and Datafang playing through Remnant 2 together. That's right, I'm playing through a Souls-like game with guns with the developer of the game. Are we good? Kinda. Are we playing on the hardest difficulty with new characters, so it's making the game a lot harder than it needs to be because, we both enjoy that? Yes. Are you going to judge me for my decisions? Yes. Speaking of decisions that are going to be judged, Wednesday night, Wild Ambition is live. Our party has made it to Corvangeline. It's the big city. I've written a musical number for it. There's a musical number.
Wow.
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 I will not attest to the quality of it, but I think it's very good. Then, on Thursdays, we are off. Because on Thursday nights, if you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba and want to come play Pathfinder Society with me GMing, you can at Amusing Games. So come and join us for our inaugural game this week. Leap into Pathfinder Society on the leap year with us. Did I set it on that date just so that I could make a pun about leaping on a leap year? Yes. Yes, I did. Speaking of PFS, chat, let me ask you this. Is that something that interests you? Like, is that something you'd want to see? Because there's, like, a continual story for that. Would you all want to see those stories in a sort of actual play form? This is something I've been curious about for a bit, so let me know. Then, on Friday, we have the Astral Calling. After Evie's medal in mental gymnastics has now finally been defeated, our party now has a number of new problems across the universe to solve. Where will they go? What will they tackle? How many black holes will Evie need to contain? Who knows? Join us and find out. Then, of course, on Saturday, we have the Tabletop Bros. We're playing more Baldur's Gate 3, and we are going to mercilessly bully Chad about Dragon Quest 3. Then, on Sunday, Cozy Co-op continues. We're finishing off Sunhaven in the next few weeks, and that's a good thing, because on March 19th, that's like 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now, there's going to be a big Stardew update, which means that we'll be back on the farm with Sarah, Emily, and Will. We'll be back to Stardew Valley. Sarah will be back to romancing Shane. Emily will be back to destroying my farm equipment with bombs. And I will be back to doing my best not to speedrun the game, but then somehow inevitably speedrunning the game. I don't know how it happens. Speaking of I don't know how it happens, of course tonight is Monday night, which means that it's time for the Strength of Thousands AP, which I don't know what's going on, but do you know who does? Matt, because they're GMing it. So Matt, why don't you introduce the cast and then let's go.
Hello everyone, yes, I am Matt, or Urbanoff at various places on the internet. I'm here to lead these individuals through the Strength of Thousands adventure path. And speaking of individuals, you know what individuals sometimes do? They wear hats, and the only person wearing a hat tonight, Zoe. Why don't you introduce yourself and your character? And for tonight's fun little question, if you could have one fantastical vehicle from all of science fiction and fantasy for yourself, what would it be? And what I mean by that, like, say, the ship from Adventure Planet or Treasure Planet.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, let me start with the first thing you asked. I'm Zoe. Hi. I go by Zoe Pose on the internet, and I am playing Ophelia. She's our whisper elf bard. She's got some good ears, you know, for listening to music and listening to general things in this crazy, wild world that we live in. And if I were to have some sort of fantastical way of transport, why not dragon?
You know what? That's fair. Now,
Why
would it
not
be
just
a
dragon?
living dragon, or would it be a robot dragon?
Like a living dragon.
Okay.
It's so cool.
All right, I'll mark you down for a lot of expensive food, but...
I mean, listen, if have dragon, have horde for food.
I think we learned last time that dragons are often very touchy about, you know, imparting with things from their hordes.
I mean, if their horde is food.
I always like that, like seeing dragons that hoard other things, like rare
like
books.
teacups.
Yeah, or teacups. Old magazines. But speaking of dragons and characters who can turn into dragons, McKenna, please introduce yourself, your in character, and same question.
Hello, my name's McKenna Raytine, and tonight I am playing Avi, the Nyctera Witch, and sometimes her familiar Agate. McKenna Ray Art on all the socials. I'm talking and thinking about something else at the same. I'm thinking about the transportation at the same time as words are coming out of my mouth, but it's not the words that I'm thinking about. I think... Oh, God, I mean, Zoe sort of nailed it with the dragon. I've always wanted one of those.
You don't want the magic school bus?
We can both be dragon riders. Come on, it's so cool.
You could be a wyvern
It's-
rider.
But I think I'm more like Miss Frizzle than the Magic School Bus, to be perfectly honest. Um, but yeah, I think Zoe and I are gonna be dragon riders together. And we'll just have to listen. I mean, we live right by the Pacific. I think there's enough bounty in there. We'll go fishing. We'll go fishing. You know what I mean? That's the vibe for me.
How have we gone from dragons to fishing?
Well, you have to feed them. We were talking about feeding the dragons
okay.
and what we were going to feed them, how we were going to afford that kind of.
By the mountains, they
No.
can
What is
fish.
it?
There's wildlife.
What does it say about me when people say, "Oh, we'll both be dragon riders"? And I think, what if we twirled our dragons in the air and?
What if?
But speaking of characters who, in a certain light and with a particular kind of greenish, bluish kind of skin, might be mistaken for a small dragon, Will, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Ribbit. Hello, my name is Will, also known as Tabletop Rolls here on the internet. I'm playing Igara, Gama, and Choco this evening. And Matthew, I have two answers to your question, I'm afraid, because I can't nail it down to just one. Option number one, for a more fantasy vibe, I would like a Sven.
Aww.
That would be good for Winnipeg.
Would be good for Winnipeg, and would be good for me. And reindeers are better than people anyway. Option number two, that is more realistic. I would like SD-237, the winning Gundam.
Oh, Gundam. Yeah.
Give me a Gundam.
Get in the Gundam, Will, or
I
Em will have
would.
to pilot it again.
God.
I still haven't watched
Fear.
that.
Evangelion?
Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
I haven't watched all the things. I actually only started with the remakes. But
Your face.
just because it was a dream of mine when I was younger, the answer to my own question when I was young and completely lacking in nuance, I would love a Star Destroyer. I'd get lost on the way to the bathroom probably, but they're big.
That's
Maybe
no
even
moon.
a Super Star Destroyer like the Executor.
Sheesh.
Matt
Oh
just
god,
wants
that
to
always
live on
bothered
the
me
moon.
so much when the bridge gets destroyed in Return of the Jedi and the Super Star Destroyer suddenly takes an immediate nosedive and crashes into the Death Star. I'm like, why? It doesn't have that high of a gravitational pull. It wouldn't have fallen out of the space. It's not even falling out of the sky. It's in space. Ugh. I'm sure it's in the novelization somewhere.
Now-
Things like that are always answered in the novelization.
Matt, hear me out.
Yes.
We continue this conversation with Abby on Wednesday.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she'll have opinions on it. I do not.
She'll have thoughts and opinions, and I want to hear them.
That's fair. But that is everyone's introductions. So before we get into the recap, Will, why don't you go ahead and roll that intro?
Pushing the button.
Ooh.
It looks good, right? Matt did a
So
great
smart.
job.
There we go. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, Matt
Would
did a
you
great
all
job.
go in that door? Because I wouldn't.
So I've come to a realization.
I wouldn't.
I've come to the realization about why I was so excited for this book, McKenna, that I think
Oh.
makes a lot of sense now. So, by all knowledge of what we know, the door will close behind us, and we will be on that other world for some extended amount of time. This is an isekai.
But we're not dying or being.
I mean, not
Not
every
in-
isekai is about dying. Like,
Well,
look
yeah,
at
but we're not
Inuyasha.
being like smooshed over there.
Yeah, Chad, you're right.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
Back to
that
the
doesn't
game
make it
we're here
better.
to play.
It makes
Well,
me
put the
excited.
reindeer down.
Like maybe.
Or is it a caribou?
It's a reindeer.
I can't
Reindeer.
remember.
Yeah, he does have a whole song about how he's a reindeer.
Reindeers are
Reindeers
better.
than
Is that in the
people,
sequel? I never
Sven.
saw
Don't
the
you-
sequel.
No, it's from the first one.
No,
Matthew.
no.
But
Oh.
it's not caribou are better than people. That just doesn't roll
it's-
off the tongue.
It's reindeers are better than people, Sven. Don't you think I'm right? It's that. And then it goes on. I can
I
do
don't
the
even
entire
remember
thing.
him talking.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Are you guys gaslighting me? Are 2 out
No.
of 3 of you girl boss and gaslighting me?
No, I did this song in like full Kristoff cosplay at one point.
Ah, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's Kristoff's song too,
Kristoff
Sven. I
speak-
understand
Oh.
that the way I worded it made it sound like it was Sven's song.
That's Sven's song. He
All right.
sings it himself in his own.
But flying down to a much warmer climate, we find ourselves once again in the Mwagi Expanse, specifically in the Magambia, the premier magic academy in all of Galeria. I'm dispensing with my quibbling now. When last we left, our lore speakers, formerly students, they had returned from their expedition to Osaibu, the Golden City, having gone on many adventures, going to and from and defending the city from the forces of Mazzali. But now they're back in the old grind. They're teaching classes, they're doing research, they're preparing for a possible expedition through the doorway to the Red Star, which might lead them to the long-lost founder of the Magambia, Old Mage Jatembe. They did some research on... Hold on, I'm going to make sure I get the names right. So they did research on the doorway to the Red Star. They did research on the Lobain, who seem to be kind of the new custodians of the gateway, who, for whatever reason, seem to have a bit of a problem, rumor has it, with the Magambia. That's a problem for later, though. And finally, their research also turned up references to an ancient kind of malevolent figure, the King of Biting Ants, who was the leader of a cult. It's possible they have been vanquished, and their legacy remains. It's possible they're kicking around. Who knows?
If we're learning about them, they're probably not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
There
Not
was
dead
mention
yet.
too of the fact that they were, one of their notable features was that they were difficult to kill, but because being composed of just masses of ants, they could just lay a whole bunch of eggs and just rebuild their numbers very quickly.
Well,
It was as gross as it sounds.
I don't know. Sounds cute.
Yeah. So,
doubt.
you guys believing that it was about, I think, what is it? We said 3 months until the prophesied time when the gateway might be open,
Yes.
and you guys only did about a month worth of kind of teaching. So we did 2 weeks
Yeah.
downtime where you did research, another 2 weeks downtime you did some research, and because of some excellent rolls, you guys got all the research done in a month. That does leave you with
Oh.
2 months of teaching left before you can even think about launching the expedition. And as you are, I don't know, maybe thinking about what you want to spend your downtime doing, a teacher that you guys don't really know very well at the Magambia, lore speaker, approaches you all one day while you're sitting in like the office or the teacher's lounge or something. Make sure I get this name right. Tehennot. They're a woman, a little advanced in age, human. They are considered a bit having a rather sharp tongue, and they are perhaps the most proficient master of a very specific specialization of magic, magical flight. Having achieved peak performance with all manner of airborne travel from simple fly spells to a variety of winged polymorph forms. They are known to sometimes go back and forth between class as a variety of incredibly fast and very specific birds.
God bird.
No, Godfrey. They're all very much birds that are very not flashy, but are extremely fast. They're just like
Yeah.
utility over pizzazz. And they approach you one day, and she just sits down without asking whether she can, and she wants to know if you guys would be interested in a collaboration.
Oh,
Yes.
See,
sure. You can sit there.
I have a wonderful idea.
well, hold on. My idea first. I have been working on a bit of a construction project, you see. I have assembled a still unmanned sailing ship, magically modified to serve as a small airship. I'm going to show it off at my next big lecture with a test flight. But unfortunately, my kind of carefully considers her words here, volunteers that were formerly students all seem to have earned academic probation after a senior prank that apparently left a certain teacher's noodle cart perched atop a certain bell tower. Now, I don't actually care about any of that, but I have been informed by the higher-ups at the school that if I were to allow them to continue participating in my project, this would be seen as rewarding them for this kind of behavior, and apparently that's frowned upon. So they're out, and as I was sitting and contemplating what am I going to do for a crew on such short notice, I heard people discussing in the staff room about your latest exploits, and you all seem like capable individuals.
I mean, I've never flown an airship before, but I could try.
Well, here's the thing, and this is speaking mechanically now. If you guys want, you guys are now going to get the chance to use your downtime for the remainder of your time before you head out on your expedition, getting a new skill and getting proficiencies in it. You guys are going to be retraining without losing a previous skill.
Ooh,
So you guys are going to be learning the driving skill and getting proficient in it.
that seems important
Yeah.
We're going.
for where we're going.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I find it uninteresting, but
I think you'd find it a lot more interesting if you knew. But I don't know if we're
Yeah,
allowed to talk
but,
about
like,
it or not.
Hawk girls don't drive, so
Oh, great. Igor just
I
looks
don't
immediately
agree.
dejected.
I did also want to mention there's going to be quite a bit of prestige involved in being part of this crew. This is going to be a unique accomplishment within the school's history.
Hot girls do like prestige.
fine.
There is one student that didn't participate in this prank that's still going to be a part of the crew. Habram Thoja. You guys certainly remember the dwarf daredevil from your early days in the Gambia.
Yeah.
Habram is determined to make the attempt, even if they have to do it alone, though I'm sure they'd be delighted if they knew you guys had accepted.
Tell Abram he's got a crew.
All right. So this is going to be probably the last kind of event, like the diplomacy and the pixie things you guys dealt with, because I'm going to give you as much time as possible to get your skills up. But we do have, that's going to be at the end of the next 2 weeks. So we have another 2 weeks of just general school stuff going on. Does anyone have anything they want to bring up during your time? Yes?
I would just like to say that that the sleepover night will be done when Sarah has because I do not want to deprive Zoe, McKenna, and Sarah of that sleepover.
Oh, no, yes. That is totally probably going to happen.
Good choice. Good
Also,
choice.
thanks for
Yeah.
the resub, Sarah.
That is totally probably going to happen. I love it. I love it.
Yes. Let me I need to roll a random dice here.
Can I find out?
Oh, wait, no, you were raising your hands, though. Sorry.
I just want to check on the cult.
In what capacity do you mean
Been
check on them?
ignoring
Are you
them,
stand at
and
the
I
tallest
feel like-
tower of the Megambia, look out at
Yeah.
the city, and
I feel like I kind of want to spread some rumors about them so that people stop joining. as much.
Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. All right, so you want to start either a smear campaign or a kind of anti-propaganda campaign, or just a propaganda campaign.
Yeah.
I can imagine what kind of role we do for this, but do you have any specific actions you wish to take? Any flavor you want to throw on this?
Well, let's
Do you want
see.
to enlist anyone who perhaps is also concerned about the cult into your efforts?
Gee, I sure do.
The Doers in Darkness, yeah.
And then I also want to, man, I have them in my notes somewhere in my millions of pages of notes, but the bartender,
Oh yes, one of your Magam or Nantambu-based entourage.
yeah,
We'll just call them the bartender.
I wanna get
The
some help
bard
from
and
the
the
bartender to help Mr. Bartender.
If he's helping Ophelia, does that make him a bard tender?
Ooh,
Oh, McKenna, you get a hero point for Wednesday for that.
that's
I-
good.
Thank you very
That
much.
was really
Thank you
good.
very
I'm
I'm
much.
glad you
love
said
that.
Wednesday because I wasn't giving it a turn.
No, I
Matt said, "Fuck you."
I am not so filled with hubris.
Not
Matthew,
today,
that I would
Satan.
give out hero points in the game that you GM.
You know, I respect you respecting those boundaries. I
Unless
appreciate
unless we are playing Society, where I have the ability to, because I have a certain number of stars, and I get to give out an extra hero point at the start of the game to somebody.
Yeah, and I think you're supposed to.
Yes.
But yeah, you can totally enlist the bartender. They're kind of part of your entourage.
That's Ordrew, by the way,
Or Drew, thank you.
at the beach in
That's
Penguin.
buried somewhere in my notes too.
At the beach in Penguin.
Ah, the beach in Penguin. My self-insert character's favorite bar.
Excellent.
You've never met
But
them.
yeah, and then I kind of wanna like focus on the fact that the stew that they're giving everybody probably
you guys
has
are still focused on the stew.
it probably has drugs in it because everybody is so
Don't
obsessed.
drink the stew-aid.
And
Hold on.
I kind of wanna like maybe let people know that maybe it's cannibalism. Like I don't.
Wait.
Okay.
Like-
Hold on. So,
Wait.
Like that's
where's
not
the
what
shopping
I'm
list
saying.
of things you want to put in this now?
I'm not saying that it's people meat, but the way that we're phrasing it makes people believe that it's people meat.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. The crazier claim, like the fact that this stew that people have been eating for months now, potentially, and no one's found anything suspicious about it. I mean, drugs are one thing. Drugs can be undetectable, but people in the stew,
Drugged people meat.
Matthew,
the more...
may I point you to a certain barber and meat pie?
Ooh.
Yeah, meat pie, not stew. I'm just gonna put...
Yeah, that's the unbelievable part of it is that it's in a stew and not a pie.
I'm just saying, long pork is a bit of a stretch. You can totally put that into your propaganda, but the more things you tack onto this rumor that technically have absolutely no proof makes the DC higher.
Well,
Just the
proof is in
two.
the stew, not the pudding.
Just the two.
I mean, you could start spreading two different rumors, the one more believable than the other, and the less believable one to prop up the one that is more believable.
And I mean,
This is getting a
Ophelia,
little
if you need
complex.
to get some human meat in that stew, I have a guy.
do it.
All right.
Is
No,
this
no, 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 no,
conversation
no, no,
happening
no.
in front of Avi Avi?
I like the fact that it looks like it's a very intense conversation for you two. Then the camera pans around and you're sitting at the other side of the table just like...
Guys, at what point do we become the problem?
We've
Are we the
always been
baddies?
problem. What are you talking about?
It's me.
I think
Hi.
I'm the problem.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Yes, Igor, yes.
Alright, so, just so I'm clear. In like 2 sentences, what is the rumor you're trying to spread about the cult?
The cult the
So-called
cult hooks people on this magical stew that they have so that they are more likely to believe all of the cult's lies. That's the drug that they have in it. It makes them susceptible to being amiable to the cult's influence.
Okay. So light brainwashing stew.
Brainwashing stew. It has people meat in it.
All right. So I'm gonna say a rumor would be spreading a rumor is a society check. Unless you actually want
I
to
would
make
argue
like,
that it's deception.
that's fair.
I would argue that I can use performance because
Performance
of my
is the new library lore.
It's a
I mean,
charisma
for
check.
bards it is because there's so many skill feats that let you use
Now,
performance.
here's a
for
question
other
though. Here's a
things.
question. Important thing. Are you trying to keep your fingerprints off of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, explain to me how you're going to be using performance, but you are keeping plausible deniability. So it's not like you can go out on the street corner and do a little like, what are the two puppets thing where one of them's like,
Igora has an idea.
Puppet show?
Igora has an idea that can help Ophelia.
What is your
Yes,
idea?
Igora.
All right, so we get Avi Avi to learn some illusion magic. And Avi Avi uses illusion magic to create some sort of illusionary
Thank you,
avatar
Punch and
for
Judy.
you. And then your voice comes out of this illusionary avatar that could have, like, I don't know, a totally different sort of vibe to yourself.
like a giant
Igora.
green head, maybe.
Igora,
Yeah.
do you know how recognizable my voice alone is?
But listen, people are
The
stupid.
fan club is
If
getting
it's-
out of control.
People are stupid. If it's attached to, like, I don't know, maybe it could be like shark themed or something. If it's attached to that, you're set.
Shark themed?
So the other hole in that
Shark-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
plan, Igra, is that I actually don't have a whole lot of illusion magic. I have like prestidigitation,
We have
and that doesn't
money.
even really count as illusion magic.
We have money you can learn.
That is true. We do have money.
Avi, we are at the point where we could just be feeding scrolls to Agate for you to learn every spell in existence. Doesn't that sound fun?
I mean, I do like learning. I just don't know if that's the most effective way to
Agate,
spread a rumor.
How many scrolls can you eat before you get a tummy ache?
Agate just licks their lips.
I just
Wow.
think that it's oh right. Okay. Well, the way that we're going to get this going, we're going to be using the rumor mill.
Yeah.
And so Ophelia's just going to come up with the juiciest tea and feed that to Ordrau, who's going to feed that on and on and on, and it's going to become a telephone effect where every time that somebody tells somebody else, it gets worse and worse and snowballs out of control. But the main thing around it is cult bad. Bad.
Okay. And I was going to say that you, in this instance, if you were essentially going to be the author of this rumor, but not the purveyor of it, I will totally let
Ghostwriter.
you use. Yeah, I'll let you use performance check to compose and make it catchy and kind of attention grabbing.
Attend the
Like
tale
not
of
just like
Yahweh.
these are the reasons the cult are bad. No one's gonna find that interesting or engaging. But if you can weave, like a little anecdote or just a well composed, catchy letter that can be copied and spread out as kind of pamphlets and stuff to
It's,
counter because the cult has people walking the streets, talking to people, handing out literature.
Pamphlets.
If you can do
it's what's her name? Vivian. It's Vivian slander. All of it.
I hear her hair isn't
Vivian
even that color
slander.
naturally.
I
I heard
think
she
while Ophelia
Beats up
does
babies.
this, Avi would like to start an initiative at the school to do like similarly helpful things because she recognizes that like the way this cult was able to get a foothold in this city in the first place is because there was a need for such a thing in the community.
Because we were gone, helping the community.
Well, not even because we were gone, but because, people are hungry. And like, is there more that the Magambia can be doing? Are there, students, can they be earning extra credits by volunteering in a soup kitchen? Like, is there things that the Magambia can do that would fill the hole that might be left if and when the cult fucks off.
Also,
Igra.
since we're all doing plans here, permission to menace the cult.
Okay.
This is Igra looking
Just don't
at...
let people see you menacing the cult.
Okay.
I'm just going to mention this to you, McKenna, because if you take this to the school administration, just from your great experience with this, you're going to know that they're going to say, "What do you call us sending you into like town to like clear out mansions taken over by snake cults?" That's
I would say that is helping one person, which I think is great, but I think there is a broader spectrum that we could be reaching here.
Give me a diplomacy. Or anyone who wants to take this to administration to make a diplomacy check to try and convince them of this initiative.
Ophelia, you want to come with me to administration to help them convince them of this initiative?
I will
Well,
give you a invisible
yeah.
and hidden bonus if you come up with a catchy name.
Oh.
for what?
An outreach
Basically-
program.
Yeah, an outreach program essentially. But one that is, I think, maybe more targeted in filling that same niche as the cult. Because clearly there were things that we were missing if they were able to gain purchase in the city.
That or it's just really good soup or
I
stew.
think we call it.
It has people in it.
Well, it's not better than Lumusiao's, so
I think we call it Soylent Green.
Maybe we call
Alright,
it something
I think we
different.
call it Soylent Bean.
Whether or not you're getting a bonus for that, you don't know. Feel free to make a diplomacy check for the to try and convince the administration to go along with this initiative to get their backing behind it.
All right. I'm gonna use my feet so I can use performance for this. Administration.
Now, they also do ask you to clarify whether or not you all will be leading and or participating in this, or you're just going to set up like a quest board thing saying, "Here, students, go do some good works in the community."
I'd be happy to participate in it as much as I can. We do have a mission in a month and a half.
I will be resorting to taking all of my classes on field trips to do community service.
Ooh, yeah.
We're
that'd
getting
be good.
lazy.
Good lessons.
The administration has no problem with you starting up this initiative. They do mention that, especially in the spirit of it, they're not going to mandate any students participate. This has to be entirely volunteer. They want the students to want to help their community, which they'd say, you are more than happy to try and sway them or convince them.
Yeah, it's really trendy right now to help out the community. Really? It's what
I
the
should also
program-
point out, you guys, you are trying to appeal to students of a magical school about things being trendy, not to mention that these are all basically magic nerds. So,
Well, I'm
your
sure if
audience.
Ophelia's there making it look cool and hip,
People will be into it.
Yikes. Well, I mean, here's the thing. What I want to do with my class, Uzunjadi, it's all stories. So we're going to help out the community, and the payment will be we're listening to people. We're hearing their stories.
I should just point out, this is interesting because this is very much
Very
sort of
similar.
like almost the exact same thing the cult do in a way, where they get them, they seem to have gotten into the community by being a ear to listen and by sharing their stories and kind of stealing the Uzunjadi's whole shtick, really,
I know. Isn't that so dumb?
but with stew.
And what are they doing with it? They're putting it into stew.
Thank you. Caught chat.
The stories?
Yeah.
Okay. So, also, give me another performance check if you still want to do the rumor thing as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rumor mill.
That is correct, Chad, by the way, the illuminated tree. I have a cool logo in mind I'm planning.
Ooh. That's neat.
Gotta have good branding for the cult. Yeah, you start this anti-cult kind of like information campaign. And I'm going to say the 2 weeks of classes go by, unless you actually did want to go out and try menacing the cult.
I did have an idea in mind for it.
Oh God.
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
him cook.
Because you see, Igor is going to go to a street corner one day where some of these folks are handing out their pamphlets. And he's going to set up a little
young
box.
people handing out their pamphlets.
And he's going to stand on the box. And I'm going to look to some community members. I'm going to point them out and say, "The illuminated tree. Don't you understand? Friend, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber disaster indicated by the presence of the illuminated tree in our community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in Magambia City." And then just continues. I may
Would
have...
you like to give me a diplomacy, intimidation, or
I
performance
use
check?
performance to this as Igor.
What are you rewriting? What song are you
boxing.
You
rewriting?
got
I
trouble.
recognize
This
it.
is the Trouble in River City. I have it rewritten
From what?
from the Music Man.
That's what it is.
I was in the Music Man. I was Gracie.
It's one of my favorite like golden age musicals. Got trouble that starts with T, and that means illuminated tree. But yes, I'll use performance for this because I think it'll be fun. This is my comp. This is
You
my.
get over a 4 or a 9.
I'm going to hero point that.
Okay.
There we go. That's
Okay,
better.
37.
I
All right,
rolled
that
an
is
11.
that is a success in that people actually listen to you, and you don't reduce a couple passing children to tears by suddenly, talking really fast and aggressively in the street. The couple, like, there was 2 kind of illuminated tree members, young people who were kind of like passing out literatures and just having conversations with people. They stop what they're doing and kind of like stare wide-eyed at you, and then they kind of lean over and one of them whispers to the other, and they pull a little scroll out of their robes, unroll it, look at you, and look back at the scroll. Turn to each other, kind of whisper, and
Go get
immediately turn around and leave. So at least
Go
they
get
stopped
it.
doing what they were doing.
Igor, go! Go, go, go! Run out! Get him! Get it!
I'm not saying
You
a
are
damn
also
thing.
there are some like street guards kind of like eyeing you now. Like, does this guy have a permit to be doing this?
I'll jump on Choco and I'll start chasing after the cult members.
Are you trying to be stealthy about it at all?
Oh god, no. I'm just like, hey, I saw you looking at that scroll and looking at me. What were you reading, huh?
They one of them turns around, sees you, looks at the other one like sees you like eyes wide, nods
would
really
choke.
vigorously, and she eats the scroll.
Well, that's
You
some
didn't swallow
culty
it.
shit. Alright, I cast haste on Choco and just shoot right by them.
They dive into some nearby like large baskets, like Aladdin hiding from the
And
palace
just-
guards.
Igor, middle finger flipping them off, riding on the back of Choco on the way away.
Oh,
So yeah,
we're
you
gonna
guys
hear about
have
this later.
You guys have started your 3-prong assault on the on the cult. You're utilizing the student body. You're starting a rumor campaign, and you're shaking them down in the streets. About the end of the second week, so we'll be getting midway through this second month now. You guys are probably getting ready for your first driving lesson to give you access to the skill. Oh yeah, what did I roll for that secret roll? Okay, Avi.
Hello.
About the end of the second week, you were walking down the halls at one point, going from class to class, and you hear a voice behind you. Excuse me.
Yes?
You turn around. There's a young human male, hair done up in like a ponytail or something. They've got robes, a backpack full of stick scrolls and papers and tomes, kind of just sticking out of it. They've got like a few in their hands. They seem to be kind of struggling to hold all their papers and stuff. And they kind of go up to you and, I'm sorry, there was a sign about students wanting to volunteer for a thing. Are you the teacher? Like, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name.
Avi Avi?
Oh, yes. Looks around. pulls like a folded piece of paper out and hands it to you.
Oh, what's this?
Look at it. And...
And in an interesting kind of thing, the earnestness and like the youthfulness of their face kind of like shifts a little bit, and suddenly they seem a bit more mature and old and serious looking. And he says, "You've been served," and they turn around and leave.
Yikes.
Is it an actual like legal document?
You open it up, and it is a document from the city council.
Oh.
Apparently, there have been, over the last month, you notice it mentions like a date starting when you guys left for Osaibu. There have been numerous complaints of slander and other kind of like mutterings and threats being made against the illuminated tree here in the city. And you, Igora, Ophelia, Benji, not Endures in Darkness, and Charlotte.
Does it say that on there? Does it say not endures in darkness?
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
include
not
him.
Endures in Darkness.
Charlotte are now prohibited by city ordinance from going within 500 feet of any building that has been purchased or is registered to the cult. Like they have this complicated like legal name for
Well,
the cult.
it's a good thing we have Reach Spell.
I think reach spell doesn't cover
Hey, Endures in Darkness.
500 feet.
He's
job
always
now.
He's always just a few feet behind you guys.
I don't understand. I've actually never said anything.
Well, okay, and here's the thing. They've now gotten into the city council. They're now in the municipality.
Well,
That's not
no,
good
that's
for
not
us.
how this works.
'Cause
that's
the
They
not how
have the
this
city
works.
council in their
They have,
pocket.
they have
Ollie.
the city council in the pocket. We got rid of all the snake people on the city council, and now the illuminated tree is taking
They've
advantage.
filed a restraining order. That doesn't mean that they've. Okay.
You know,
I mean,
those
they've
little-
already won, you guys. You might as well give up now.
No, we just have to murder them all.
Yeah,
It's talk like that.
I like this plan.
See,
Listen.
maybe that's why they're
do
filing
notice-
this, Igora.
There's
A few people turn and look at that like,
There's only one way to deal with a cult. Trust me, I know. You got to nip it at the bud.
Well,
Is that
it's a
what
little
you
late
did?
for that.
So yeah. All right. So
That's not an answer.
that I mean, I'll let you believe exactly what you want to believe. I may or may not have killed the people who raised me.
I don't believe anything one way or the other. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Well, that's not raising. It's grooming.
yeah. There.
Oh.
So they're all dead now. It's just me. That's why I'm here.
And you are
Okay.
valid.
and
Yeah.
we're happy that you are, says Endures in Darkness,
Thank you,
raising a
but,
little mushroom hand.
Like seriously, cults are dangerous. They're bad. This is a cult. It's easier to wipe it off the face of the earth with power than it is to try to out-cult them. Out-cult them? Is that a word?
I'm
Is there
not
a
trying
word?
to outcult them. I think that they had a legitimately good idea for a community initiative that we should have been a little bit more on top of, if I'm being honest.
Well, we were saving the Golden City, making a new diplomatic relation with a tyrant, or while we were doing research, or while we were fighting armies of bugs, or saving
mean,
the city
me
from secret
as-
snake people.
Me,
When
in
were
the
we
sense of the
supposed to do this?
Magambia in general.
Okay.
There's a larger picture here, Igora.
I don't know. It just feels like unless we're directly involved with it, nothing gets done.
Well, that's part of the problem, isn't it? And that's why I was having students volunteer for the initiative. I just don't understand why I'm on this list when I've never done anything or said anything wayward about this group of people.
Because we're a family and whatever we do gets lumped together.
And that's why I've been advocating for subtlety, but no one seems to be listening to me.
No, I hate him. I want
Now I'm
As
in
you guys
trouble!
continue this conversation, you have finished arriving at your first driving lesson. Now, how this is going to work, we're essentially doing retraining skills, but without losing a previous skill. You guys aren't swapping out an old skill for a new one.
Yes.
Now, I feel like I'm going to just have you guys, if you want, there will be a role involved in this. You have some time. I would like you guys, if you want, to come up with a associated skill that you have and justify rolling it to learn trained in driving.
So, Matthew,
Yes.
my friend, there is this lovely thing called faking it till you make it.
Okay.
So as we're sitting there learning about how to drive a car or how to drive an airship, Igora is paying attention, but it's going out one ear hole and through the other. And I would like to use deception to just kind of, I don't know the best way to describe this. To just kind of mow my way through it.
I can drive.
She's like, yeah, I can drive. I got this. So you just
You know what?
You flip
That-
the pig.
I did say come up with a skill. Floop the pig. I feel like I want to give you disadvantage for that, but
Do it.
I did give you opportunity to use a skill, and you justified so, and you did what I asked. Feel free to make your roll.
All right, deception check. Boom. That is
I'm
a
afraid that's
2.
not
on the
quite a
dice.
success. I think
Yeah.
you might have gotten another hero point from Chad.
If I did, I'm going to use it. I'm going to scan Ophelia.
No,
No, I don't. People don't give me hero points.
Oh,
Oh, can
Just
I
as
give
like
you
a-
my hero
Just
point?
as a general rule, I find it's all good. I will take the failure. It's fine.
all right.
Take the L. Take the L.
It's a
Dang it,
failure.
you're supposed to succeed so Ophelia doesn't have to drive.
Well, I'm trying, but
You can see Avi's chomping at the bit to drive. That's not
Okay.
an issue.
There is a soapbox prepared for you, so you can reach the steering
see,
apparatus.
my only fear with Avi driving is that if we're in a situation where one of us has to be driving the ship in a combat encounter, Igora can be doing that more easily than like an Avi can and still be useful in combat.
It should be noted, you guys are going to have 3 more chances at this.
So I can only get
That,
to
admittedly, you fail too many, you won't be able to get
master.
like trained master,
So I don't
and the
really
DC
don't
will
get
be
to
going up.
master. That's fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can I? How do I argue for occultism?
So what's the-
Well, this thing is powered by magic. Yes.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
I mean, sure, I agree with you.
Okay.
There are no connotations behind anything I say. I am completely literal at all times. I'm also full of shit.
There's a pill for that, Matthew.
That was a
Over the counter something or other.
Yeah.
Given that all magic is sort of wibbly and wobbly, can I use occultism?
You know what? I'm gonna say, you clear your mind. You listen to the purring of agate wrapped around your feet. You become in touch with the ambient magic in the world, and you see the pattern, the way you're supposed to move and everything. It's like you're almost seeing, in certain video games, you press a button, it'll show you the path to the objective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're seeing that sparkly dotted line through the magic.
Okay. That sounds like a yes.
Yes.
So I'm gonna roll occultism. I'll take a 45. I'll take a
That
45.
Is in fact a critical success.
Yeah, it is. Avi says, I'm driving!
You are a let's see, you go from
My girl is driving.
yeah, you go to the master rank. You got, in fact, like, if you can get a critical success at this early level, it's much easier than trying to do it later on, because the DC is lower here, so getting a critical success is actually a little easier.
Okay, so what am I putting this in as? Is this like a
You get a new
extra
skill.
lore?
Yeah, put lore driving, I guess. Driving lore, yes, it's called.
Driving
Because
more nice.
you guys want to learn to drive that And
And
straight
what
on till
I'm-
morning.
Assuming intelligence is it's still intelligence.
Yeah, I guess because it's a lore.
Yeah.
Oh god, okay, I'm going
Ophelia,
through
who's
this
put
list.
on her Sunday driving outfit, I guess.
Yeah, so she shows up in like
Oh boy.
her well, you know, like when they have like a driving suit, like
Yes.
a cat, kind of like a cat suit, and
Oh,
she's
boy.
got her like her hair all done up in a bandana, and she's got her like driving gloves. She's
As she
looking
should.
the part.
I do
She's
like the
being driver.
idea that you have already driving gloves and you've never driven.
So,
Are they horseback riding gloves?
so we're also faking it till we make it, but we're putting on a show. We're showboating. We know how to drive. I would like to use performance. If you look like you know how to drive.
That is how I get to and from work every single day. So I
You know what?
agree that this
I'm
is
also just for the serendipity of the fact that you were going after Avi's amazing performance. I will allow you to I'm just going to perform the way Avi did it.
I'm just gonna look cute while I do it.
I mean, some would say you do that. That is a success, but not a critical one. So you go up to trained in driving.
I'll take it.
Oh god, I just realized. Did you bring Endures in Darkness to this class? Are you making him take
Absolutely.
the class?
Yeah.
Of course we
If
are.
you wanted to.
He also has to use the soapbox.
Get on the boat.
Yeah,
get,
he does.
Get on the boat, Endures in Darkness.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
Avi is going to have to pilot it.
I like piloting. Let me
Um,
pilot.
with that pressure added to him, I'm going to make him use survival, even though it makes no sense, because survival is what he feels like he has to do. He has to survive.
Poor
Objective,
Endures.
survive.
It's quite intense.
Actually, no, he's going to use his crafting because his crafting is actually pretty good. Because I will not justify he can use medicine for this. Absolutely not.
I mean, driving is just like performing surgery
on a grape.
on a
Unfortunately, Endures in Darkness does not roll, and Endures in Darkness doesn't get hero points, so...
Oh, that's not fair.
Because he's not a hero, he's a hero's intern.
Aw.
Oh,
Not the hero,
he's a hero
he's the
to
one who runs
me.
to the corner store to get the hero a pack of smokes.
Endures in Darkness is my hero.
Endures in Darkness is a good boy.
Cute.
He's a good non-plant-based creature. Fun guy.
And also,
He's a fun guy.
I do have actual like driving gloves, but the pink is just better.
Yeah. So yeah, that was we'll do Charlotte's retroactively next time.
Yeah.
Am I almost going to give her advantage for having all the extra limbs?
I believe that.
Igora, do you
Me with
want
my
to
stigmatism
roll
driving.
for any of your pets?
Fuck it, Choco.
Do you
Must
want to
have-
Choco grabbing a steering wheel or a
I
ship
mean,
steering wheel
to
with
be
a
fair,
beak?
until we hit level 16, it's about as useful as they can be, so let's do it.
Gamma chauffeur.
No, not Gamma, but Choco. Choco could try to drive. You know what Choco will try to do? Choco will try to use their, So this is going to be a little bit crackpotty, but there's an episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends where Coco, which is the Choco-like imaginary friend, drove a car by jumping on top of it and shifting their weight to turn the wheel. I would like Choco to use acrobatics to try to...
Well, you know what? Acrobatics is also just reflexes, so that actually makes a lot more sense than almost anything.
Cool.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Also, you'll be happy to hear this, McKenna. I actually got the DC wrong. It was actually higher, and you still critically succeeded.
Yay.
By like 2 points.
Oh, Choco.
Choco does not get to
Choco.
learn how to drive.
A giant bird has
It's a little, to begin with, it's a little outside their wheelhouse. It should be noted, I will say this, because you guys are taking lessons, and the person is supposed to be helping you, assuming, like, if you fail this week, the DC gets lowered for you next week, so you have more of a. It's more likely that you'll at least get to the trained level next week.
Nice.
But Ophelia, make sure you add a new driving lore thing to your skill that you are trained in.
I kind of just want Igor to be bad at driving.
Oh, sorry.
So like,
And McKenna, sorry, it goes trained expert. You're expert in driving, not master.
Oh, so I'm
Sorry.
not a master. I was
No.
about to say, damn.
Sorry.
Just so I can like channel Mr. Toad's wild ride with Igora.
You're taking us to hell?
That's a different
of
wild ride.
2 points.
You didn't say no.
I mean,
I hear there's attractive tieflings there, fighting in wars.
Oh, well, you know I don't
all right,
about attractive people.
all right. So,
Not at all.
check something.
Not at all.
All right, so you guys, we
What
are
are-
going to.
What are our
Move.
classes like? I'm curious because like we've been teaching now for a few years.
Well,
Not
what
years.
do you mean by what are our classes like? Are they successful? Are you popular teachers?
No, but this is just something that I've wanted to ask like as a player since we became teachers. Is like, and now it's been a few semesters of us teaching. Like, what is our actual like class that we teach? Like, I'm curious.
Basically, because you guys are still essentially first year teachers, you are giving kind of practical examples and giving lessons about situations in which spells were used or different approaches were taken. You do sort of follow a curriculum where you'll have like a theme for a few weeks where you talk about, so here's where an instance where the more subtle use of magic was useful, and here and you'll also go like, all right, this is a spell I used in this situation. We're now going to spend a week. Everyone's going to be practicing this spell and using it in like 3 different ways or something. So real crunchy stuff, not really high concept. Like there are other teachers that talk about the efficacy of using magic in societies and using magic in place of hard work and stuff. There's like real high-minded, high-concept magical classes and everything. You guys aren't bothered with that. You're more practical things at this level.
We're not doing any of that hoity-toity
That's-
shit. We're
That's
just
for
a bunch
teachers
of
with
we're just-
tenure.
We're just some guys.
Yes.
Students
What do you mean we
crawl
don't have
around
tenure?
Sorry?
I said my students crawl around on the ground. It's just an AMDA acting class for them.
We just tell them to pick an animal.
We focus on being our
Pretend to
most
be that
authentic
animal.
selves
I'm a
in our
cat.
casting. We pick an animal and crawl around.
So,
Did someone hear the train?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's a rare opportunity. Chat, you get a hero point.
Aw.
Aw.
So
Cute.
if you make a silly comment, you can re-roll it. You guys go through that. You got your first driving lesson. We are going to move on to the next little event. It's entitled An Impromptu Field Trip.
Ooh.
So do you guys remember Corriday?
Yeah.
So
The
they have
perpetual
made
problem teacher.
little
I
bit,
remember
yes.
Corday.
yeah, they're one, likes all the insects and the creepy crawlies and the like. They have made a study of the interactions between insects and various magical influences on different ecologies. Well known for mixing this highly specialized field of study with one of her hobbies, amateur forensics. So, did anyone ever, watch Bones? There was the one
Yeah.
scientist who got a lot of information from cadavers and stuff by using insects to test things.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically what she likes to do as a hobby. She takes her interest in insects and uses that knowledge and the ways insects interact with bodies and the natural world, and uses them for forensic studies.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
She occasionally uses this knowledge she has gained to give fascinating lectures on subjects such as determining the time since a creature's demise based on maggot growth on its corpse, or detailing what kinds of insects might be used to destroy evidence of a murder.
Ooh,
Um,
right.
Corday reaches out to you guys one day through a memo that she is looking for chaperones to accompany her entomology class on an impromptu and potentially risky field trip to observe her theories in the field, but on a much grander scale than the norm. She's heard that an immense jungle monster, a Grootslang, recently perished along the bank of a minor river not far from Nantambu. Corday also hopes to mount a short expedition to the Grootslang's body to study the behavior of some oversized insects as they feed on the supernatural creature's flesh.
Fun. Okay.
She agrees with you. It will be fun.
We'll do it, but there has to be some sort of trade here. And the trade is information about bugs. Which bugs
She's already like
swarm
really
the
handing.
most aggressively around a tree?
Termites.
Well, actually, you might be a little surprised about that because it varies depending on what kind of tree it is. Certain termites will completely ignore certain trees.
Yeah, what about a fake ass tree?
Like made of paper mache?
I'm being silly. I'm being silly.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
Okay.
She's
But no,
just a silly, goofy
she
mood.
takes out like from her like bag or something. She has passes to her next kind of big lecture, and you actually know that these passes are actually hard to get because it's such a odd and specialized kind of like mixing of fields. Attendance is usually pretty high. She like gets to use one of the bigger auditoriums at the Magambia for these things.
Good for her.
You pretending to look at a compact, or are you just looking at your mouse?
I'm looking at my mouse because it's being silly.
I thought you were pretending to like look at the compact and not paying attention.
I'm like, cool. I use that auditorium like every week. Just kidding. No. No, that's great. I would love
She
to go
doesn't
to
want
one
to
of
fight
those.
with you.
Would love to go to one of those. Would love
Me
to find out
too.
swarming bugs that could take out our enemies.
All right, I am going to move us to the river map as you guys go on this field trip. Riverbank.
Down
Groot
by
slaying.
the river bank of the slain.
Ooh,
Groot
yeah,
Slanky.
that is a corpse, all right. Goodness.
Oh God. How much would we know about a Groot slang just hearing the name?
If you guys want to give me like a, it is a supernatural creature, so
Occultism?
Oh,
know
that
what?
is a corpse.
yeah. Yeah, actually, Igra, if you wouldn't mind, place yourself more onto the south because you guys, I think, are coming from that direction.
Sure.
So just that side of the corpse. So yeah, if you guys want to roll me for some knowledge checks, if you want.
Ooh, with the critical failure. What do I get?
Ooh. You think this is a very strange looking Grootslang. You had heard that they had wide and varied colored feathers and a majestic halo of shimmering light. Then you realize, oh wait, maybe that was a dream I had.
Bird part
I
two.
had a thought, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for fear of embarrassing myself.
Occultism 46. That's a critical success.
Nice.
Because they are potentially, when it was alive, it was a level 16 uncommon creature. So, yeah, it's still critical success because even plussing 20 to that. What would you like to know about the Grootslang?
What was its diet like? What sort of habitat did it like to live in? Is it a creature that stays with its mate for life?
You know that it is kind of a jungle aquatic kind of creature. It doesn't have like any sort of like crazy magical abilities, like it can't turn invisible or shoot like magical rays out of its mouth, but it had, as you can see from the body, it was very big, It was very powerful, and all of its attacks would just naturally be charged with magic. Like it was just, it's like a big creature that just has sort of magic running through it. Um, and often I think they are somewhat solitary creatures because it seems like individual Grootslags, kind of like what you've heard of, like sort of with dragons, don't actually get along that well. And the only time they may get together is for a very kind of awkward mating, which then they immediately run away
Preservation of
from.
the species.
Yeah, like, we gotta do this every couple decades. Fine, don't look me in the eye though.
Oh god.
But then they probably don't raise their young, right?
The young are big enough and strong enough that once they're like hatched, they're like, well, you can practically kill everything within a 10-mile radius. You're on your own, kiddo.
Dang.
Maybe they'd have better social skills if their parents didn't just abandon them at birth.
You could write
Sort
a
of a
paper
chicken
about
or the
that.
egg.
They're doing free-range children raising thing.
Oh.
Oh boy, that's a phrase. Oh, thank you for putting Endures on the map. That's appreciated.
No worries. We'd forget if I didn't.
Yeah. All right. So, the river journey. Corday leads the heroes and her class to a narrow, winding river into the jungle, just a few miles from the outskirts of Nantambu. The dense undergrowth and large trees make movement difficult, and all squares of land in the area are difficult terrain for medium or smaller creatures. So Corday has arranged for a barge for transport. So you're actually just going down the river. The trip of the river has an almost celebratory atmosphere as the students enjoy the fresh air and change of scenery. Except for a couple that discover for the first time in their lives, oh, I'm on a boat. Oh, I get seasick. I'm learning so much today. As the barge draws near the destination, you are alerted by the fact that you're getting near the destination by a sickly scent of decaying flesh and the telltale sound of buzzing insects growing more apparent. Then, after a tight turn on the river, the Grootslang carcass comes into view. The monster lives on the riverbank, 60 feet of decaying flesh swarming with giant flies. The sight of dozens of pony-sized flies and an equal number of oversized maggots crawling over the carcass fills Corday with delight. But the reality of that much decay catches the students by surprise, and their excitement about the field trip quickly diminishes. One seasick guy finds new depths of his stomach to evacuate.
Oh.
As the class gets to work observing the body as they nervously pull out their notebooks, you guys are free to help with observations. You can, Ophelia, you can share what you already remembered about it. You can make academic lore or nature checks to provide some helpful insight into the nature of the scene, and maybe earn an approving nod from Corday.
I
No
would love an
kids.
approving nod from Corday.
That creature was dying to get here.
I
A hush falls over the jungle.
would like to, anyone who has some sort of scarf or mask that they can put over their face, I prestidigitate it to smell like peppermint.
There is one of the Anandi students is here and actually starts handing out lovely made scarves.
They all smell like peppermint tea, which I think is probably a boon to the nauseous students as well.
Actually, I'm allergic to peppermint.
Well, then I can make
You
yours smell
cartoonishly
like
break out in hives.
mango bubble tea. How about that?
Actually, I'm allergic to tapioca.
Roll to invent bubble tea.
You didn't lead with that?
And you already have a peppermint one. Peppermint's better at blocking out the smell, but if you're allergic, technically this isn't going to trigger your allergies because it's prestidigitation. It's not a real oil or boba. Peppermint,
Avi,
done.
I don't even talk like that.
Talk like what?
I'm messing with you. You're not fun.
I'm sorry. I try very hard to be fun.
Avi's feelings are very hurt.
But mango bubble tea sounds amazing, and we should revisit this after this trip.
Yeah. Okay.
You're very fun.
You're
tweaks
sending
of
me a lot of
backpedaling
mixed
quickly.
messages.
Yeah, that's my job.
Sorry, occultism. Yeah, you totally can earn an approving nod, Ophelia. Actually, no, that was sorry, your previous
That was
one.
that was from before. I would probably share all the information that I had learned about.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, academic lore or nature check to give some new observations.
yeah. Or
I could do an academia lore,
My hero.
maybe, if Roll20 will load.
I could do a nature.
Sure.
It's a 37. I'll take a 37.
yeah.
Yep, that is a definite success. Oh.
Oh, my
Nice.
mouse did the double click. God.
Oh.
Well,
So it's
I'll
only
give
a
it.
40.
I'll give it to you.
No, it's only a 40, Matthew.
All right, you have
still
a
good.
resounding success. Not quite a critical. You were 2 off from a critical.
That's fine. I will take the 40. I am.
Corday looks delighted that you guys are contributing, and you get a dangerous look in her eyes. She's like maybe starting to think about future collaborations where you guys can maybe help with like an autopsy or something. Get your arm really in there.
Avi's actually delighted by this. I'm a little put off by it, but she's into it.
I'm concerned Avi could burrow into
Avi
these
would
things.
burrow into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we're getting bugs
She could like
to
Scrooge
destroy our
McDuck.
enemies later.
So about 20 minutes of this goes on. In the interim, Corday like picks up some of these like bugs or stuff with like magic to like explain. You know, see, well, these would only have been here if the thing had been out for already a certain amount of time. But I know for a fact that the weather was this the last few days, which in fact would have accelerated the decomposition. Blah 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 blah. And as she starts to kind of get her patter going, there is a loud noise.
Uh-oh.
There is a thunderous trumpeting roar, and a surge of water from upstream brings the lecture to a sudden halt. A living Groot Slag has
When that was coming.
arrived.
Ooh. Oh, might have another fresh corpse to study.
Crashed
Oh,
out of
that
the
thing
water.
Cool
Um,
looking.
Oh,
The
it's like a
Groot-Slag-
Cthulhu elephant.
Yeah.
Groot
good
Slag
development.
bellows as it rises from the river, claiming the remains and ordering everyone to bow before it. You guys actually have the option if you want to bow.
You know what? I'll give it a little bow.
I just look at Ophelia.
There's no need to cause trouble
I
when
just-
we have
I-
students
I
here.
just dead ass look at Ophelia. I just like,
Tiniest of curtsies. Like, just so gentle.
wow, that's actually.
Just because I want to give Will this, I'm going to read. Should the heroes do so, by bowing I mean, the Groot Slag chortles in delight as it starts to eat students. It moves to do so, and you can immediately say, oh, no, I'm not bowing anymore.
Yeah. I was
So-
just like, huh. I did not think Ophelia would bow to another thing. We should stop that from eating our students.
All right, that's enough of that.
All right, we are going to roll initiative as the students and Corday kind of plays rear guard to the students to get them out of there, where you guys take care of this.
There's such a thing as a false bow, Igara.
A mocking bow.
Is this an endangered species that we're about to kill?
Don't matter, because you know what is even more in danger right now?
Oh
Our
my
students.
gosh, wait, are you saying that we should make friends with it instead of killing it, Igara?
I'm just saying, it's an endangered species.
I'm just
We don't
saying,
know that.
think if you could turn it against the cult.
I like that idea.
I'm being a disruptive influence, and I apologize.
I like that idea. Very much.
All right, we're going to
Thank you for the
arrange
hero point.
descending. All right, yeah, Ophelia. Unsurprisingly, you are going sooner than the hulking aquatic monstrosity.
Gross. We are going to get Bard Song up, and we are going to... Let's see. What is the range on this? Cool. This spell did not put a range.
What's the spell, Zoe?
Uncontrollable dance.
Oh. Oh.
This is going to be messy.
This is gonna be fun. Uncontrollable dance. range touch.
Ah.
So I gotta go touch it.
You gotta go. You
I
gotta
don't
go.
want to.
It should be noted, guys, that the river is going quite fast. So
Gotcha.
to walk in it will take an athletics check.
So are you saying that we should drive the barge?
The students are being loaded onto the barge. It is currently
Dang.
unavailable.
Dang it, fine.
The interact button has gone gray.
Never mind. You know what? We're
Also,
gonna get sad instead. And we're gonna use Canticle
sad
of
poetry.
Everlasting Grief. Oh, look at that damage. So bad.
One day I want to make the sad poet equivalent of a bard, like the School of Tragedy from or College of Tragedy from D&D.
Very much just word from over the garden wall. Just
Oh, woe is me.
oh.
All right, Canticle of Everlasting Grief. That is.
Please make a will save for me.
Will save for the Groot Slag.
And that'll be a 37. DC.
41. It succeeds, but not critically.
All right. So that's gonna be
5d6 mental
6
damage.
mental
and it's
damage.
frightened 1.
what?
And can't benefit from circumstances or status mode. This is for 1 round.
All right. So, yeah, it should just be that 17 then, because that's the 5d6.
And it's not a basic, so it doesn't take half. It just takes 5d6.
Yeah, it'll be the 8. It'll be 18 with Bard Song. Yeah. And that's my turn. Bard Song's up.
Okay. So, sorry, how much damage was that?
18.
Thank you. Gotta record that damage. Avi, you are up next, and then it's the Groot Slag.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see.
And, Will,
Only 25 feet
Gamma
away.
is a huge creature?
Gamma's a huge creature.
Okay.
This is a kaiju fight, Matthew.
Is
Or
this
if you
like
prefer, it could be like a Pacific Rim situation. It could be a mech.
So,
how dare you?
I'm gonna Needle of Vengeance them against Gamma because I think Gamma's the biggest. It should be 14 by now. Gamma's the biggest threat. My spell DC is also 36 now. And then, I
I mean,
could
actually,
just hit him
technically,
with
you
a-
are right. It is a mech. It's not like the Pacific Rim things are not robots. They're not autonomous.
Yeah, they're mechs.
But I know what you were trying to get at me.
I kind of want to impress the students.
Oh.
What can I hit him with? That's
I'll
not
say
really-
this: if you guys can pull off something really impressive, it'll really do well for your anti-cult initiative.
Oh.
What do you know?
Oh well, in that case, what can I smack him with?
Wagon.
And feeling maze is not going to be that helpful for this creature.
Wait, do you have maze?
I sure do.
That's amazing.
I picked it up at your behest, Matthew. I picked it up in our last level
It's a
up.
good spell, and I'm just gonna say, actually, you guys are just trying to get away. If you cast maze and just run, you could just completely negate this encounter.
Or we can kill the thing, give them another corpse study.
I regret to inform you that I actually don't have it prepared. I did learn it, but I
fair
have
enough.
discern location and 8th level dragon form prepared. But I think I'm actually just going to drop an eclipse burst right on top of it, at such a point where it will not hit any of us.
Eclipse burst. All right, that is a reflex, which you'd think will be their lowest, but we'll see.
Oh,
We're
I don't like it when
fighting
you say
evil
these
by
things, Matthew.
moonlight.
That's
Teaching
weird.
kids
It's
by
not its lowest, but
daylight.
only by like 1 point. It's second lowest by 39. Success, but not critical.
Boo.
All right, I'll take it. So that's I still need to roll the damage because this one doesn't actually roll the damage for me. That'll be 8d10 cold damage. I'll take it. 40 is not bad. And 8d4 something else. 8d4 negative, whatever that's changed to. So yeah, that's 61 damage total unless there's more with Bard Song.
least one.
I don't know how much more.
Actually, yeah. What did we roll for the bard song? I just forgot we didn't.
I didn't. I just put it up. So it's
Oh.
one.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, we didn't do the enhanced thing. That's fine.
All right. So then it'll be 62 total, which will be 31.
Yeah, that is a solid hit.
I suppose. And then if you want to put some sort of marker on it that it's
It's
text or whatever.
It's also frightened too, I think.
Oh. Oh, so close to failing that reflex.
Yeah.
I think it's just frightened one.
So it'll end at the end of its turn, but for this turn it is frightened 1. Let me check something here. Jaws. All right. So, just checking. Okay, so it is, despite the fact that it actually has long range, it is going to move up to Gamma.
Hmm.
And it is going to, that's one action, and then it is going to make a jaw attack. 31. It's not a very good roll, actually.
Don't believe that hits. That misses.
All right.
Gamma
Well,
bats it away.
it can't do the thing it wanted to do then, so instead
Oh,
it
were
will...
you trying to slurp up Gamma?
I was trying to slurp up Gamma.
I'm so proud of
I
you.
have
Matt.
I have improved grab on the jaws, and I can swallow a huge thing.
I'm so proud of you, Matt.
But it's gonna try and gore Gamma with some tusks.
30. Well, that's attack number 1, Matt. You
Oh.
didn't hit attack number 2.
32 then.
32 will miss.
All right. It's, I guess, struggling to get out of the surf. That's its turn. 3 actions and move into attacks.
Well, it needs to make 2.
Oh, 2 will saves for
will
the
saves.
Needles.
Yeah. Need
37, 34.
I think with it being frightened, those actually. How much is it frightened?
Frightened 1. Give me a sec. Frightened condition. Status penalty equal to hits to value all your checks and DCs. So yeah, -1 to whatever I rolled there.
All right, neat to beat. So the first one, 7 damage. The second one, 14. Total of 21 mental damage.
So a total of 21.
Yes.
Okay. Guys is getting some good hits. The action economy is in your favor. Which doesn't tempt fate because I'm the DM. Igra, you've already grasped that it's your turn. I see.
Igra on their turn is going to spend 3 actions. I'm saying, "Okay, Gamatatsu, let's do this." I'm going to summon Gamatatsu on the other side of the thing.
In a magical explosion of a goop, you just hear Gamatatsu, Gamatatsu.
Well, here's the thing: Gamatatsu is technically naturally invisible until he attacks.
Was he on the raft?
No, it's a 3-action spell to summon Fae.
Okay.
Or sorry, summon elemental. This one's an elemental frog. Just like Gamma. And then because I spent 3 actions, yada yada, 2-action thing, he's just going to take some hits on the Groot slang with a flanking.
Wait, he's not frightened anymore, by the way. I realized I can turn that off.
Ooh, a natural 20.
Oop, not dead.
Nice.
So
Natural
that'll be a
20.
45 flat-footed.
Actually, I haven't actually looked at the AC yet. Give me a second. Groot's leg. That will definitely hit. His flanked or flat-footed AC is 36.
Cool. So then that will be 36 bludgeoning damage and 14 cold damage.
Oh,
Can you total that up for me?
30, 46... 50 points of damage in total.
50. Doesn't seem to have any damage resistance to anything so far.
Second attack.
But it does regenerate health from second attacks. No.
No, I don't think a 26 will hit, though.
No. That critically fails, even it's
Yeah.
flanked.
But now Gamatatsu is there, too.
Yep.
So you got 2 swallow targets, Matt. Aren't you happy?
No, because if it swallows a huge thing, it can't swallow anything else.
Oh.
Oh.
But now we move on to Endures in Darkness, who is very concerned about protecting the students. Because he remembers what it likes to be he remembers what it was like to be a frightened student. So, ooh, I get to do a new thing. He is going to move under. He's going to stay on the bank here, but he's going to move under there. And he is actually going to take an AO for this because the thing has a reach of 20 feet, actually. And it is going to lash out with a tail attack, 30 feet, actually. It's going to critically hit him for 80 damage. Dang, Endures in Darkness. That's a hit. Why am I always so effective against my own characters?
Oh. Poor Endures
Still
in
in the triple
Darkness.
digits. But he is then going to use his remaining 2 actions to cast. Or actually, it is a Polar Ray.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so it's going to have to succeed. It actually does hit, so he hit with 38. Spell attack roll. 10d8. 46 cold damage, and they are now drained too, as they are suddenly encased in a layer of ice. Instant frostbite. There's like a swirl, like a little swirl of like blue little like mushroom that's floating in the air, and then suddenly just like blue Kamehameha comes from it and hits into the giant creature from Endures in Darkness. He needed a higher level offensive spell that wasn't AoE. Ophelia, you're up, and then Avi.
All right, we're going to scroll so slowly up so we can do a performance check to see if this is a +1, +2, or +3 for Bard Song. That's a 47.
The DC for level 15 is 34, so that's a critical success.
All right, we got +3s. Can I get a
Nice.
+3 in the chat? Just kidding. And then we're going to pop up some Phantom Orchestra. And they are playing the Jaws theme.
41 sonic damage.
Oh,
That
and
is
because it's
Please make
drained,
me-
it'll have a -2 to this.
Please make me a 42
critical
Oh.
failure. Oh, this is going to be a heavy hit.
Dang.
Very glad no one gave me a villain point.
All right.
Oh, boy.
So that's
Uh,
gonna be 44.
44 times 2.
2, 88.
88. Oh, you guys are going to make quick work of this thing.
Hmm.
Jeez.
Ooh.
that was half of its remaining health right there. With a Phantom Orchestra.
Jeez.
I blame the fact that it has very large ears. Aggressive concerto.
Dumbo.
And that's my turn. We have a +6.
That's an effective turn. You guys are doing well against this beastie. Level 15's treating you nice. Avi, you're up.
All right, let us sustain Needle of Vengeance, and then I'm gonna hit him with a little telekinetic bombardment. It's another reflex DC, but that's good damage. That's good damage.
It's pretty good damage.
We're
at
looking
least.
for another.
Yeah, no ones in that roll.
failure.
Remind me, or at least paint me a quick scene here, because with telekinetic bombardment, you're always throwing things at them. What are you throwing at them this time?
Students.
I will give you negatives for that.
You know, there are enough rocks and detritus around the bank that I think there is a brief moment where it doesn't notice all of the rocks sort of floating up around it before they all shoo, directly at the big bad guy.
We call this
Because
the
it's a
Beachcomber
10-foot
special.
burst, so it can just center right on
So,
him, right under him.
all right, that's going to be a reflex, and he is still drained 2, so
Okay. Damn. But he's not
Success.
frightened, is he? That's the same thing he rolled last time.
yeah.
So that it's 55 divided by 2, 28? 27? I don't
28
remember.
would be 56. So 20,
That's math, baby.
26 is
Oh,
27, I think, is
Mhm.
54.
on the bed.
So
I'll
26.
take 27. It's not quite the 55 that I
That's
rolled,
still a
but
quarter of the remaining health, basically. But it is their turn now, and because I want to make Will happy, draw attack on
Me,
Gamma.
Matthew.
43.
Yay.
That's a crit.
Ooh.
All right, so that will then be 74 piercing damage.
Oh, not a crit. Sorry, his
Oh.
AC is 34, so it's one off.
Okay, good. 37 piercing damage.
Would he like the +3?
And then we'll use a remaining action to swallow whole. Oh, not great damage with that. Well, actually, no, that's only one. So that is going to be a opposed athletics check, I think. The monster attempts an athletics check opposed by the grab creature's reflex DC. So what's the reflex DC?
Reflex DC is 34. Oh,
All
wait,
right,
no, that's Igara's. Sorry, multiple character sheets.
Yep. That's fine.
Reflex DC is still 34.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, guess what? How much they have plus athletics?
34.
Yes.
But you can roll that one. Nope, you did not roll in that one.
All right, so Gamma is swallowed whole in a
That's
horrific. Like, you never imagined something could open its mouth this big and swallow Gamma, and Gamma takes another 26 bludgeoning damage as the giant, just round molars crunch down on his soft, froggy flesh.
Cool.
Disgusting.
And then
What
he's
does
gonna
it do with
whack-
its third action?
It's gonna whip that stupid little mushroom. He doesn't like that mushroom with his tail again.
Nat 20.
But this is his second attack.
Oh.
Tail. Ba-bam. 33. That might not actually hit Endures in Darkness.
Baby.
No, it does by 2.
Oh, poor
His
baby.
armor class
But
is
wait,
only
he's
32.
drained. Does drained
Hmm?
affect him?
Drained? I'm not sure. Hold on. I think drained might just be for saves, but I'm double checking.
Also, should this not be his third attack?
Will, is swallow usually an attack thing? Is that meant?
Swallow is an attack action.
Okay, so then this won't hit. And for the record, drained
I did not
is
expect
a,
this.
a status penalty equal to your drain value on Constitution-based checks such as Fortitude saves.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, he still needs to make 2 mental checks for hurting Gamma twice.
Okay. Let me close Endures in Darkness this thing. Will saves 35
Well, no, I'm not rolling.
A
them out.
failure,
and 40.
a success. So that'll be another 21 mental damage.
It's looking pretty rough. But he is angry and prideful and refuses to give up to you tiny creatures. Igara, you're suddenly Gamma-less.
First action, sustained summon elemental, so they get 2 actions.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make 2 attacks with my elemental. Nope. Nope. Awesome. And then with Igara's last 2 actions, Igara's going to take his thumb. He's going to prick it on their gripply teeth. I'm going to run it up from the back of his hand, up his arm, and that like red stain is going to turn black, and Igara's going to cast Execute.
Oh. Is this a renamed Finger of Death?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said,
Nice.
okay, students, this is how you kill one of these things. And then I just like a crushing void aura comes out from Gamma.
All
from
right,
the
this is
inside
going to
of
be
it.
an important fort
It
save.
starts eating away, and it's drained 1, so it has a -1.
Yeah, minus drained 1.
Ooh.
So it doesn't critically succeed.
Just a regular success. That's still half the 70 damage.
So that will be 35?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it is hanging on by the barest of things. Endures in Darkness.
Endures in
Be-
darkness, take us home.
Into the Darkness, do you have magic missile?
Take me home.
No, because he is a druid.
Also, Gamma got
Doors in
unsummoned as a free
darkness.
action.
Um. Stone Lance. Right. Oh, that is very incorrect.
Why not just Electric Arc?
Okay. All right, he's got 2 actions left. I think. Actually, no. Well, no, I can't retroactively say.
Endures
It's not
Darkness,
chess.
Taking guaranteed damage over risk.
Hold on a sec.
I'm docking you battle points.
Will, I am trying to figure something out here.
Dang.
Hold on a sec.
Ruthless.
Just said that he was gonna take care of it.
I'm gonna live.
Also, that doesn't like. How could I roll
Wait,
that low?
something.
+5? That's very incorrect. Hold on a sec. Spell attack roll should be +26. So let's see what I actually rolled. 11 plus 26 is 37. So that will. Hold on. The roll was the thing. Yes, 11 plus. So that will actually hit. So that will do 38 piercing damage as Endures in Darkness kind of taps the ground with his little mushroom foot. A big mass of sand rises out of the ground, and it's suddenly shaped into like a drill. And then he launches it at the thing, and sand somehow becomes incredibly hard and just goes right through the thing's head. It looks stunned for a second. It was never prepared for the possibility that it would be defeated, and then just falls to the ground, and you now have 2 cadavers.
Yay, that's a carcass.
I really have to program that spell better. Goodness.
Good job, Endures in Darkness. See, students, this is what happens when you go with adventurers like us.
Extra credit, Endures in Darkness. Good job. So, we want to keep looking at the dead things, or
Yeah, you guys managed to calm the students down. They're also impressed with you guys because you guys got some impressive hits and an excellent display of different types of magic. Igor summoned like all sorts of crazy creatures. Avi did some cool eclipse burst stuff. Ophelia made everyone feel a lot better with her music and did a massive managed damage with a summoned orchestra. And Endures in Darkness helped, because that's what he does. He helps as a TA.
Aw, adorable.
One day he may actually get to, take the Lord Speaker's exam. One day.
I hope
If he
so.
wants to.
Well, that's a thing. At one point, some of the teachers have kind of mentioned it to you guys that they're kind of hoping you guys can maybe nudge him in that direction, because he's been at the school for a long time. But he doesn't seem to have like any higher ambitions. He seems perfectly happy to be a forever student.
Aww.
Because especially since he doesn't have like hobbies or personal a lot of personal interests and stuff, so his stipend that he gets for being a student is essentially all he needs to live on. So he doesn't have a lot of motivation to like improve his living state, so to speak. He just seems happy to be of service.
Is he stuck in limbo? Was there some sort of event in his past that
Do you want to make some
left
sort of
him-
check, perhaps?
depossessed of?
As you're heading back to the school on the barge,
I would
he's
love
sitting
to.
there. Yeah, as he's sitting there, working through his pack,
Not seeming
making
to
sure-
be
You kind of like put your hand in
not
your.
seeming to
your
be
head
like
on your hand
reveling in
and-
his win.
I don't think you've ever seen him revel in
Hey,
anything.
what's going on inside that big old mushroom head?
Exactly. And that's weird. He's got extra credit. He should be excited. What am I rolling?
Perception check if you want.
Honestly,
Perception.
at this point, Avi, we give him so much extra credit. It's
That's
not
a 39.
special anymore.
That's a 39.
With
So-
discern secrets, it's a 40.
Well, here's also the thing: you specifically are the one who has very personal insight into the circumstances of
This is true.
his life, sort of, so to speak, or at least his background, not him specifically. You do get the idea that Endures in Darkness is still looking for a purpose in life. He sort of came to the Magambia by sort of happenstance. He was like picked up on the side of a road wandering around in the forest one day, and by some good chance he became a student, and he seems to enjoy his life, but he and his brethren, or people, were created for a purpose. They were made they were grown specifically, much to the sadness of the druids who tended them, to fight and to serve. And he was lucky enough that he was created far enough at the end of that by the time he was like pushing his luck in terms of him surviving the conflict, it just sort of ended. And he's just been sort of like spinning his wheels, like, okay, I can't fulfill the purpose in which I was born. I guess being a student is fun. I get to meet nice people. Igor patted me on the head last week. That was nice. He might have been wiping his hand. I'm not sure.
I'm not that much of a dick to you.
I know.
That would be
here's the thing.
Ophelia.
Here's the thing. He's okay with that. Like, that's being of service. If you need to wipe your hand on his head, he,
Just because he's okay with it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, but he
He's
likes
just a
it.
Yeah,
baby.
wait,
You're gonna take away the things that he likes.
To be fair, he's not saying this out loud, Will.
And neither is Avi. Avi's just sort of watching him, being like,
Study
I want
the
to
mushroom.
help. I want to help this sweet friend.
I mean, I'm just going to say this from your own insight. You would probably do want to tread carefully, because he's in a good spot here. He is enjoying his life. It's just you've seen, maybe he's not living up to his full potential, but you've seen this in some people at the Magambia, people who were promoted out of a position they were good at into something that they were not. Can you imagine him teaching a class?
If he considered teaching to be a service, then yes.
A class on how to be of service to others.
Because then he would be of service to those students in the sense that he was teaching them. I could see that logic. But I don't want him to live in service to other people. I want him to live in service to himself sometimes.
How to be a good TA.
Maybe he just likes being of service to others and feeling useful.
I mean, he does.
I'm not saying this out loud.
His love language is.
I mean, you've all thought about this, I'm
It's
sure.
not healthy to do everything in your life for the service of other people.
But sometimes it helps you survive if you do.
No.
Yeah,
As you guys
I agree.
head back down the river, evening is drawing closer. Igra's gaze happens to just sort of like look up towards the sky, and he notes the kind of the phase the moon is in, and does sort of the mental math and realizes, oh, we're getting closer to the time with the door.
Space.
And as this particular adventure tonight draws to a close, I'm just going to give you a little teaser about next week. We're going to do some more driving training next week. There's going to be maybe some more school drama. Who knows? You guys might continue your campaign of whispers against, or shouting in Igor's case, against the cult.
Musical.
But next
thank
week,
you.
one of the events possible is entitled
Matter number at best.
Assistant Summoner Duty.
Assistant summoner duty.
Yeah, that's possibly one of the events that might come up next week. That or Nantambo Noodles.
That feels a little bit like, well...
But until then, this has been the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path. Thank you all for joining us. Be sure to check out all our other shows that we'll mention at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Coming later this week. They're going to be a lot of fun.
And also,
Hope you enjoyed yourself tonight.
Don't forget to donate to
Yeah.
lovely one-person show.
Bunkered Down, 132 Days Insanity.
Insanity.
Yeah.
2 words.
Go donate to Bunker Down. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.